Welcome back to Simbright Fashion Academy YouTube channel for another interesting tutorial. So today I'll be teaching you how to make this beautiful bubu kaftan with collar and placket. Okay, so in this class you'll be learning the tips and tricks to making an accurate bubu kaftan like the one you are seeing right here on the thumbnail. And as you can see, I'm wearing it right here. This dress is actually gorgeous. I'm really very proud of the outcome. So you can see this bubu kaftan can be used for any occasion at all. You can rock it. So if this is what you want to learn in this class, please stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. To begin this tutorial, I'm working with Ankara prints and crepe. So I'll be using this crepe fabric right now. That's what I'm going to use to form both the collar and the plackets. Okay, so this crepe fabric, I just got myself 1 yard of crepe fabric, and here I'm going to cut out from my 6 yards of full Ankara fabric. Okay, so I'm going to lay my fabric right now to cut the basic bodies right away. So we'll be cutting the basic bodies now, and I'll show you how to fold this. In this tutorial you need 3 yards for your bubu kaftan, okay, because this is actually a bubu kaftan with collar and placket. So here I've placed because I want to cut out the front and the back separately, so you actually need 3 yards. But so I folded my fabric, as you can see now. So I folded it selvage to selvage. My length is 60 inches. My full length of my bubu is 60, and I'm going to take my measurements from the shoulder line. So this is the shoulder line. So I'll make my line. I believe you are seeing this starting line. So at this starting line, I'll take my vertical measurement. So the first one I'm going to take is my chest line. My chest line is 9. I'll add half an inch for seam allowance. After that, I'm going to measure my waist measurement. I don't need my waist because this is a bubu. So my waist measurement is 29. So I'll add half an inch to it. That is 29.5. And then I'm going to take the full length of this gown. So the full length of this gown, I'll be working with the whole of what I have on this tape. This is 60. I'll add 2 inches, which is the extra for this bubu. Okay, so I'm done with the vertical measurement. So what I'm cutting here is the front piece of this dress. Then later I'm going to draft both front and back. Okay, then later I'll place this on the back and cut the back. So I'll pretend doing everything right here as if I have the back. Okay, so now for the back measurements, the first measurement I'm going to place is my shoulder divided by 2. My shoulder divided by 2 is 7.5. Then from that 7.5, I'm going to take my sleeve measurement. So my sleeve measurement, I'm going to use my 15 inches. So that means I'm using everything I have on this completely for the bubu. All right, so once that is done, I'll come over to the neckline. So my neckline, okay, so I'm using 3 inches. So by the time we sew, we'll have it at 3.5. Okay, so I will use 1 inch. 1 inch, that is for the back neckline. So remember, what we are making here is a collar. It's going to have a collar. So I'll just go ahead and connect my 1 inch to my 3 inches, as you can see. Okay, so once I've connected that, I'll come back to the tip of the bubu. So this is the bubu line. I'll go ahead and come down by 1.5. That is the shoulder slant. So this shoulder slant, I'll connect it from here to what we have right there. So that is the shoulder slant. I'll place my ruler and connect. So you can see what we have right there. So we have the back connected. So the next we are going to do is to go over to the hip. So coming to the hip, we are going to take our hip measurement. So my hip measurement is 50 divided by 4, and here I have 12.5. okay. So for this bubu, it depends on how big you want it to be. You can just add 3 inches or 3.5. okay. So I added 3.5 to it. So this is the marking of my 3.5. So I'll come back and take the whole of what I have. So here I have 16 inches. So I'll come down to the hem and I'll mark my 16 inches. So I added my 16 inches and I mark. So I'll just go ahead and create a straight line from that point, connecting what we have on the hem hip line. okay. So we connect what we have on the hip line. Then on the chest line, I'll also measure the same 16. Then when I'm connecting it, I'll not connect it up to this point. So I'll measure the same 16, as you can see right there. So when I'm taking the ruling it, that is what I mean, I'll not get up to this point because we want to create the bubu sleeve. So to create the bubu sleeve from this point, I'll just go ahead from that shoulder drop and I'm going to measure 12 inches. This is a bubu, so it's actually, we actually have it big at that point. You can even take 13 inches. So you have the bubu sleeve. So this is what I did. I have to curve this way. Then I'll now come over with my pattern ruler to create that curve, okay, that forms the bubu for us. So now we are done with the back. I'm going to come back here to create the front neckline. So like I said, this dress is actually a very gorgeous and simple dress. So since we've created the back neckline and the bubu remains the same for front and back, so I'm going to do this. I'll go for the front, I will measure from here, from this line, which is the shoulder line, and I'm going to drop it at 9 inches. That is where I want my neckline to be. Or we can go up by 8 inches, so we don't have it so wide. So I measure 8 inches from here to here, 8 inches. So this 8 inches, I'm going to connect it in a V form. But before I connect it in a V form, on this 8 inches, I'm going to measure the width of my collar. So the width of my collar is 2 inches for the one coming over to this point. So, and I have this unfold. So if I mark 2 inches, when I open it, I'll be having 4 inches. So let me mark 1.5. okay, so we can overlap it a little bit at the end of the day. Okay, so I'll mark 1.5 because when we sew at 1/2 inch, definitely it will fall back to the 2 inches. So I mark 1.5 at that point, and I'm going to connect that 1.5 to the neckline. So I'll connect it this way. For the neckline, I just made a little adjustment on the neckline for the front. Okay, so note that 3 inches is the neck width and 1 inch is for the neck width for the back. But for the neck width for the front, I want us to make use of 9.5 inches. So the 9.5 inches falls on our chest line. So from this chest line, I went in by 1.5 and mark. Then I connected directly to the 3 inches. So I'm going to cut out what I have here now. I'm just going to cut not the neckline, because we are placing this on top of the other Ankara to cut the front piece. So I'll just go ahead and cut on this line. Remember, I added 1/2 inch for my shoulder seam allowance, so I'm not adding any one again. Okay, so I'll now come over to the side and I'm going to add 1/2 inch for my stitching allowance. Okay, then I'll just take it down. I added 1/2 inch for stitching allowance, so I'll just take it down to the hem. Okay, so this is my hem, and at that point I'm going to cut the hem. So this is my hem. So what I have now on this dress, I'm going to place it on another Ankara the same way I folded this now. So I'm going to repeat the same, then we'll cut the front neckline. So I folded my fabric again. So this is going to serve as either the back or the front. In fact, it's going to serve as the back, okay, because we are going to cut out the back neckline first. So make sure you fold it equally, as you can see me folding it, because we are going to drop the first one. You can see the folded part, and this is the open part. So I'm going to drop the one we already cut on top of it. Can you see? So I'm dropping it on top of it right now. So I'll secure it with my pin, making sure I match everything equally. The sleeves, making sure I match it well. So let me match it, then we'll cut. I've placed the one I drafted on top of this one. Okay, so the one is the back now and the other is the front. So I've secured it with my pin, as you can see, and this is the sleeve area. So the first thing I'm going to do now is to cut out the back neckline. So I'm cutting this back neckline on both of them. Okay, so I'll cut the both neckline, then I'll go over to cut the back once again. Okay, so I'm going to cut everything like I did before. So when cutting this, you need to be very, very careful. Very, very careful. Alright, so I'm done cutting the boats. As you can see, I have to pin them. Okay, and you can see both center front and center back are on fold. So this is what the BUBU looks like. Can you see? This is the sleeve line and the armhole. Okay, so we only cut the back. So to cut the front, I want you to pay attention, because this is the main purpose of this tutorial. So I'm cutting this line we made. Okay, so I'm lifting it up. You can see how I'm lifting it up, and I'm cutting to the point of the 9.5 inches. Okay, you can even add 1 more inches, making it 10 inches if you really want that part to be very open for you. Okay, so you can see that I take off that part. So if you want to extend it a little bit by 1 inch, that is making it 10.5, that is fine, but I don't want it that open. So once you have done that, the next you will do is to place a notch in an angle. Can you see that notch? Don't place too much, just 1/2 inch. Okay, so I just measure, take it more. So I think what I have here, you can see the notch just at 1/2 inch for the front neckline. So I'm going to join, because we are done now. The next thing is to go into the sewing of the collar. But before we sew the collar, I'm going to join the shoulder line of this BUBU dress. Okay, I'm going to join the shoulder line. So I'll take off what I have for the front now, and then make sure you match right side to right side. So this is the right side for the back, so I'll bring it this way, and this is the right side for the front. So I'll just go over to the machine now. I'll sew from shoulder to shoulder. So once I'm done sewing from shoulder to shoulder to the sleeve, I'll bring it back to show you how to sew this beautiful collar. So here I'm done joining the neckline. So the next thing is to open it up. So this is the front neckline and this is the back neckline. So you can see the notch of 1/2 inch at an angle I told you to make. So now we are going to take the measurement of what we have from this angle. Can you see? I'm going to take the measurement. So you can see I'm taking this measurements all around. So make sure you spread out your fabric as I'm spreading right now to take that measurement. So I'm taking it back to this point, and here you can see I have 28 inches. So this 28 inches, I'm going to cut out my fabric. Like I said, I'm using a crepe fabric, so you can use cotton, you can use ashoke, you can use even sequin. Okay, so I got 28 inches. I'm going to add 2 inches to it. I love adding 2 inches in case if you have a shortage mistakenly, at the end of the day you can make it. The 2 inches will make it up. So I'm going to fold my fabric, place it on fold, but meanwhile I will stay this fabric, the part I want to cut. So the width of this fabric, I'm going to make use of 3.5. okay, unfold 3.5. So I will stay the 3.5 now, then cut and show you what next to do. The neckline was 28 inches. I added 2 inches, and that is 30 inches, which I've cut out. 28 inches, I added 2 inches to the length, and that is 30 inches. So the width I have here is 3.5 on fold. 3.5 inches on fold. You can see that is on fold at 3.5 inches, and I have to hair stay. Okay, I doubled hair stay my collar to make it more firm. I love to hair stay than using pepper stay, so I doubled my hair stay and ironed on top of it. So I'll simply put this collar together. Once I've done that, next I'll create a notch at the center line. So this is the notch at the center back. So this is going to be where our center back will be. Now I'm going to shape in this the part of the collar, that is this open end of it, that will be at the bust area. I'm going to shape it at 2.5 inches. So I'll just measure 2.5 inches. So this is 2.5 inches. So if you look at on the thumbnail, you notice that the neckline we have is smaller as is descending from the neckline. Is getting a little more narrower. So I'll just connect that neckline this way. Can you see how I did that? So I just connected it. Okay, so I'm going to cut what I have. So make sure you match it. I'm ensure you have it at the center back. So I will just trim or cut off that excess, going back to the neckline. So can you see the shape of the neckline we have? So you can see here is bigger. So what we have here is 3.5, and what we have here is 2.5. So now I'm going to place this notch on the center back right now. So I bring back my dress. So this is the dress and this is the neckline. So the center back now is the center point. So this I'll match seam line to seam line and get the center point. So I'll place a little notch to the center point. So I'll go ahead to secure what I have on that center point. I'm going to start to secure it with my pin. So I'll match it this way, notch to notch, and I'll go ahead and do what? And stitch. So I'll just match from here to here till I get to the other point. Alright, so I've secured it with my pin, as you can see. So I'll now go over to my machine. I'm going to sew from this point of the notch all around. Alright people, so I've sewn the neckline. So the next thing you will do is to go over to your weaving machine and weave it all around. Okay, so make sure you weave all around. So this is the neckline. So next is to, let me turn to the front so you see how, can you see that? That's the collar. So you can see that part I told you to notch. Can you see? So it's easing itself right now. So by the time I fold this one and fold this one, okay, so I'm going to fold them in a way that they overlap each other, and I push in this ½ inch. Okay, so with the notch, automatically the ½ inch pushes in and lays in. So make sure you arrange it appropriately. So I'll just hold it down with my pin, and I'm going to top stitch on top of it this way. Okay, remember we are going to have a placket, so I'll just go ahead and top stitch right now. Okay, then once I top stitch, I'll raise it up and cut out the excess. So we have two ways: either you just go ahead and top stitch on top of it after putting it in, or you can raise your fabric this way and sew from here. So whichever way is okay for you. So you can go ahead and sew from here, but when you are doing that, make sure the overlapping covers the space. Okay, so I'm going to sew here and close it, so we have this part neat. After sewing, you can even wear it without the placket. Okay, so you can sew from inside. You can also top stitch on top, because you'll still go ahead and top stitch right there. So let me do that now. Alright, so I just went ahead and top stitched all around. So you can see I flipped all my seams on the side of the dress, so my collar relaxes nice and flat for me. So this is what I have for the collar now. So I'll just go ahead and turn the back. So you can see I have a whole lot excess at the back, so that was why I added 2 inches. So it's better I have a shortage, an excess, than I have a shortage. So I'll carefully cut out 3 meters at ½ inch. Can you see? So you can now go ahead and serge all around to make your dress look neat inside and outside. So we are done with the collar, and I'm happy with what we have right here. Very beautiful. So the next is the placket. This is the placket. I've already hairstayed it. I double stayed it too. So what I'm going to do now is to show you how I cut it. On the width line, I use my shoulder. My shoulder is 15. So whatever your shoulder is, use it. You can also use 15. Then the length is 12 inches. Okay, 12 inches. So now we are going to construct that design we have right there on the thumbnail. So you can actually make different kinds of design of your choice. So this placket now, I'm going to construct this design on the right side, because that is where we have it on the left side, sorry. Okay, on the thumbnail, if I place this dress this way, for you is the left side, but for me walking now is my right side. So now I'm going to construct this. This is the under, this is the upper. So from the under, I'm going to come up by 4.5, and from this other end I'm going to go in by 8 inches, or by 9 inches. Let me use 9 inches. So now I'm going to mark this line straight to meet the 9 inches. So I'm creating a square right here. So what we have right here, pattern ruler might not be able to give us that. So I'll just divide what I have here by 2. This is 6, and this is midpoint. And from here to here, this is 4.5, and this is the midpoint. So we are just creating a C. So let me see if this one, meeting it at this point, will also give us what we want. So I'm just trying to see if there's a way I can walk around it. So I think it worked now. So I just created that C on the thumbnail. So I'm going to cut it out now. To cut it out, so I just cut it out. Okay, so that is this design. So now I'll bring this together and place a notch. The upper part, I'm placing a notch to the midline. So I'm going to go ahead to my ironing table. I'm going to iron this. I'll just fold half an inch, half an inch. When I get here, I'll try to fold half an inch. Can you see? Then we'll now come and pin on the dress and stitch. So I've already started folding in and ironing. Okay, so I just want to show you how to go about this part. So once you have folded this part and iron, next is to fold this curvy part, so it will be easy for you to finish up this part appropriately. So I'm using my hemming gum. So I'll just measure what I have here on my hemming gum. So I just place my hemming gum at the tip like this, and I'll just fold in. Okay, so if you have a steam iron, I will advise you bring in your steam iron, but if you don't have, you can just lay a piece of fabric with steam on it so it relaxes well for you. So I'll just keep folding this inwards and ironing. So now you can see I'm done with this part. Okay, so you can see how neat it's looking. So you can still turn it to the right side and make it more straight. Okay, all right, so that is that. I just stained my fabric right now with my hemming gum. Okay, so I'll clean it up later. So now I will now come in with my hemming gum and fold this part too. Okay, so I'll fold it by inserting my hemming gum in between this way. Make sure you fold, you get this part neatly done. Okay, so once we top stitch, we have everything as it should be. So I'll just place my piece of fabric right there. end of the day. So this is it. I folded everything in. So now I'll bring back my fabric where we are going to lay this. So I'll just place it, spread it apart. Okay, so if you look at the upper line, you can see the notch. So that notch, I'll place it at the center front. Can you see? So make sure you position it appropriately. You can even take the measurement of from here, what you have from here to here, before you pin, to be sure is equal. So here I have 4 3/4, and I'll measure here. I still have just a little shift. Okay, so from here to here I have a little above 4 3/4, and from here to here I have, so it's equal now. So I can now secure with my pins and then come in with my hemming gum. So I'll go to my ironing table now, and I'm going to iron. So I'll raise it up and place my hemming gum at intervals. So with my steam, just like I iron this part, that is how I'm going to iron this part now. So I'll just stick it before I top stitch. So this part, please be careful, you know. So I'm just taking what I have out from that part. So I have my hemming gum. Okay, so that is how I'm going to iron it now. So by the time I stick it, iron it with my steam, it stays for me. So let me quickly do that, then we'll top stitch on top. All right, lovely people, so I'm done sticking it, but I've not stitched it. Okay, so I use my hemming gum to stabilize it. So now I'll go to my machine and top stitch right on top of it very neatly, and we are done with this class. All right, so I'm done top stitching, and you can see what I have here. So I've closed up the sides of the dress also, and I've hemmed the sleeve. So that is how we'll come to the end of this tutorial, and I believe this class was helpful to you. So if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this every day. Like this video, share to family and friends, drop your comment on the comment section and your suggestions as well. Thank you for coming. See you in the next class. Bye.